We're doing jiu-jitsu. It's jiu-jitsu, guys. Levi's allowed to play guard.
And if you know anything about jiu-jitsu, you could see how incredible his guard retention was.
The Levi Kade Ruotolo final. Everybody in the crowd was booing when Levi would sit down. His guard was incredible. It was one of the most impressive things that I've ever seen in jiu-jitsu, and everybody was hating on him for it. I get it. I'm not saying that like I would rather have that than the Andrew Tackett match before that, because that was literally like the most incredible jiu-jitsu match like in history. But I was so impressed with that guard, and to have somebody like Kade struggling like that hard for 5 rounds to just like not get through was just so damn impressive. Again, I wanted Kade to win. Like, he was the guy that I had winning the whole thing anyways. I mean, that's like, I'm calling my shot, the number 1 guy in the whole bracket, right? But yeah, I was fired up to see him. I was most excited to see him anyways out of everybody there. But again, that guard was insane. What are your guys' thoughts on like that last final, match for $1 million? Do you think there needs to be like a rule change or something to prevent something like that from happening? Or was it just perfect the way it was, and it literally just took somebody being really good at jiu-jitsu to beat somebody else's guard?
So I have 2 things. If in one sense, if you think about it, in experience of like MMA, think about guys like DC, Habib, these wrestling-based champions that were getting booed during title fights. So you can boo Levi Jones Leary, but at the end of the day, he's like, you can boo me all the way to this $1 million, bro. It's like DC and Habib and them, and be like, you can boo me all you want, but I'm getting 2 checks. I'm getting my show and my win check. I'm winning at this grappling, no matter what, if it's fan friendly or not. Like, at the end of the day, you want to be able to like, gain traction with more fans. But when it comes to the highest level of competing, you just need to win, because it's so hard to win at the highest level. So as even though I'm biased with Kade and I wanted him to win, and that kind of goes along with what I'm going to say next, I respect Levi Jones Leary and his skill set. And if you know anything about jiu-jitsu, you could see how incredible his guard retention was. It was unbelievable. Like, I
love that take from you, Deron.
You like that take?
I love that take from you.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro.
I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah. And so in another thing is, it's like when you've competed against high level dudes, it's like, sometimes you look at a guy like Levi Jones Leary and I'm like, this dude, he kind of doesn't, he looks, unassuming. But I will say this, when you watch that and watch how Kade couldn't pass and watch how he was so quick to, transition to like the leg entanglements, like that one too. And, there's something different about him. He's special. His grip strength is really good. You know what I mean? There's something that he's very exceptional at in there, and I can't really say exactly what it is. I'm sure other people can. But that, as a guy who's a high-level athlete and has watched it for a long time, I have the utmost respect for him, because dude is obviously doing something really exceptional in there, and it's hard for me to hate on that. Yeah. So on the other hand, real quick, so I got one more thing. Kade Ruotolo is a world fan favorite. So it doesn't help that he's the favorite in there, and everyone wants him to win, and everyone wants him to win in a exciting fashion. So him getting neutralized to a more, I guess, boring style of jiu-jitsu is not fan friendly. So that doesn't help the situation at all. But if you ask the majority of if you put a poll against everybody in the jiu-jitsu world, they would give you feedback about how, kind of like what I was saying, how exceptional Levi Jones Leary was and how impressive it was, even though it might have been boring he was doing a few things at the absolute highest level.
Yeah, and I got a couple things. One is I think I can say confidently that Levi showed the best pure jiu-jitsu out of anyone in the tournament. Pure Brazilian jiu-jitsu. One thing that I wish I would have seen, there was 1 or 2 times that he came up in like an attempt to sweep. And then he either didn't have the motivation to finish the sweep, or he didn't have the technical prowess to turn it into a wrestling exchange. There was a few times he had Kade in a really bad position, and he could have potentially swept, got on top, and then started to work on passing. And you could tell in those timings, he didn't want to come up and try and wrestle and finish the sweep. He was very content to just go back to guard. So that's the only thing I wish I would have seen differently out of Levi. I wish I would have seen him a little more confident in trying to scramble and get on top, right? With that being said, his guard, amazing. Best guard in the tournament. Best pure jiu-jitsu in the tournament. And then the other guy that showed really, really sharp, really amazing pure jiu-jitsu, I would say, is Fowler and Andrew. But like we saw, I mean, pure jiu-jitsu doesn't always win you matches, especially not in no-gi. There's a lot more factors. Wrestling, explosiveness, athleticism is just as important in no-gi as pure jiu-jitsu. Now, I don't like this idea of the crowd. I didn't like the crowd booing when Levi was pulling guard. We're doing jiu-jitsu. It's jiu-jitsu, guys. Levi's allowed to play guard. This is one of the biggest problems with jiu-jitsu. One of the biggest problems with jiu-jitsu when it comes to making it exciting is when you have a really good guard player with an impossible guard to pass, and then you have a really good passer that is not letting you get in on any attacking positions. And that's just what we saw with Kade and Levi. They're both so good. Kade is so good at not letting you get deep in any attacking positions. And Kade was trying to pass. It's not like he was just staying on the outside and stalling. Kade was constantly trying to pass. Levi was constantly trying to attack. Neither one of those guys were trying to stall or anything like that. They were both attacking. They were just neutralizing each other. And it makes for more of a boring match. It's just stylistically it made for more of a boring match. And we see that happen sometimes in jiu-jitsu, and it's always usually the same thing. It's when one guy has an amazing guard and the other guy can't pass, but the other guy on top is also defensively sound, and he's not allowing the guard player to get in on any attacks. The only other time that we see a really boring match in jiu-jitsu is when you have two guys that are hand fighting that are afraid to shoot because they don't want to get guillotined by each other. So those are usually the two situations that cause for boring jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. And that's the same thing as high-level wrestling. If you watch the World Championships, you watch the U.S. Open, you watch World Team Trials, the European Championships, there's always low-scoring matches because both guys are so good that it's hard to score on them. So a lot of times, and then it's another thing. It's like if you're a casual, you can't understand how hard these dudes are working with the hand fight and stuff to be able to get to an attack. So it's like if you have a casual eye, watch wrestling for the first time at the highest level, sometimes they're gonna be like, "Bro, what is this shit?"
Yeah.
Because they're just standing there.
Nothing's happening.
Nothing's happening.
But they're trying.
They're trying so hard.
But also, if one guy is trying too hard, he's going to open himself up. I mean, it happens in boxing too. I mean, like Floyd Mayweather, right? You couldn't hit him, and then people complained that it was boring.
Yeah,
he was so good defensively. But that's what it takes at the highest level, especially when there's $1 million on the line.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, it's less likely to take a risk. So let me ask you guys this. So when it comes to the Kade and I call him LJL match, do you think that, first of all, obviously biasly, I love that it went 5 rounds because it allowed Kade to grind to a dub.
Yeah.
Do you think that's good or bad for like the traditional style jiu-jitsu by Levi Jones Leary? Is it harder? I'm trying to word this in the right way. Do you think is
benefited.
more of a fact. Yeah. Who does it benefit more? Is it more of a benefit fact? Like, well, jiu-jitsu's not supposed to be that long. He played in guard retention for a long time. You know what I mean? Like he was, traditionally doing jiu-jitsu really well. Or is it, well, that's good because in my point of view, I would say it allowed the better grappler to showcase that he's the better grappler because he had longer time to do so. Do you understand what I'm saying there?
Yeah. But man, in that case, I wouldn't even say I've never met Levi, and I know Kade. Obviously, I met him, I trained with him a few times, so I would be a little biased towards Kade too. But I wouldn't say necessarily that Kade was even the better grappler. I would say it was like 50-50.
Yeah.
Like I would really say the match was 50-50.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
It could have went either way.
100%.
The rounds were so close. And, of course, all of Levi's people are saying, Levi got robbed. In my honest opinion, if Levi would have won, I wouldn't have thought Kade got robbed. And Kade winning, I didn't think Levi got robbed because it was so 50-50 that you can't call either one a robbery. It just depends on, are the judges scoring Kade's aggression and trying to pass, or are they scoring Levi's attempts at, leg entanglements? What's scoring more right now? And a lot of people were saying too that the judges broke to like the crowd's pressure, because in the arena, when they announced the first round went to Levi, the whole crowd booed.
Oh yeah,
the whole crowd booed. Now, did they boo because they thought Kade won the round, or did they boo because everyone loves Kade and wanted Kade to win?
Yeah,
right.
Mm-hmm.
Second round, they gave to Levi. The crowd all boos, bro. All boos. And then the third, fourth, and fifth went to Kade.
And I was surprised that they did that because I'm like, dude, I'm watching the same fight. It's still going, right? Like the first and second round, the third and fourth looked very, very similar. So
that's the thing. All the rounds look the same.
Yeah. And so they, and then check this out, dude. So like, obviously no disrespect, but I'm sitting right next to Kade's mom. Like, so their whole family is right here. They are going nuts.
They're going crazy. Yeah.
After the first two rounds, dude. Oh my, dude. I thought like they were going to start like throwing shit into the into the pit. They were so freaking amped up. And I mean, obviously, I can't even imagine what that would feel like, right? That must have been, again, like that's just a whole nother level. But yeah, I think it could have went either way, but I do think Kade did enough at the very end of the fifth round by just staying more active. I don't like making an excuse for that, because it's like, okay, he tried passing and he didn't get past, but he was trying harder. He looked like he was working harder than Levi, but don't get me wrong, Levi was working his ass off. 5 rounds to keep Kade off of you and not past guard. I didn't even think that would be possible. But I think right like towards the very, very end, I think Levi just wasn't as like sticky, right? Like he wasn't able to regard as smoothly as he was early in the fight or early in the match. And I think maybe that's what kind of like got Kade all like that last push. But yeah, dude, that crowd, I think, because Deron, they're literally like, Deron Winn has it 29-28. Levi, and everyone's like, what the fuck, Deron? Like, what are you doing?
No, and everyone knows these people too. Like, these people that we're judging are like well-known figures in the jiu-jitsu community.
Yeah. And so and they're like yelling at you. They're like yelling at them. Like, it's not like a commission.
I mean, if I'm a black belt, a well-known black belt in the jiu-jitsu community, and my name's up there, and everyone in the crowd, 10,000-15,000 people are booing my decision, and then I'm thinking like, damn, like,
am I wrong?
This guy over here sponsors me. I'm doing a seminar at this guy's gym over here in the next few weeks.
For sure.
Like, I better go with the flow here.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe. I'm not saying that's the case, but I'm just saying, to me personally, I think Kade clearly won one of the rounds. I think it was like the third round. I think Levi clearly won one of the rounds, like the first or second round, one of those early rounds. And then the other 3, I think were like, honestly, dead even. So it could have went either way, honestly.
Dude, I thought
but it's just funny that the crowd was booing, and then all of a sudden, the judges were like, "Oh fuck!"
Dude, I thought they were legit going to go another round because that shit was pretty close. Oh no, that was
They almost should have. In that case, they almost should have because it was so close.
At first I didn't know it was 5 rounds, but then like after the third, I watched like Kade walk over and sit down, and I was like, "Oh, they're gonna go again."
Yeah, good thing too, because if not, Levi won the first 2 rounds, so 100% would have lost.
Yes, yeah. If it would have stopped after 3, Levi would have won.
Yeah.
Thank you for checking out this clip of us breaking down the final match between Kade Ruotolo and Levi Jones-Leary. If you're digging this one, you're going to love this video here where we break down the entire CJI event and what it means for ADCC and Jiu-Jitsu as a whole moving forward. So again, if you like this, you're going to love that. Click on this video and we'll see you there.